Welcome to the Side Action, episode 25 of season 7. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me at Wegspool on X and on Instagram.
And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X, if you will, at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. Make sure to check out the TikTok while it's still here. It's a saving grace. You just never know
It's
when it's going to
back.
be gone. You know.
No, it's here forever.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It's back.
Okay. Yeah, it's
It's time
precious.
for you. It's time for you to talk. You know.
Yeah. Is that what we're gonna do? You're the tick and I'm the talk. Is that how that
That's
goes?
right. That's pretty much
Okay.
true.
I'll keep
Yeah,
that in
yeah. I'm
mind.
the tick. You're the talk. That sounds about right. Like I'm the
Okay.
shake and Luke's the bake. I'm usually the first guy because I'm like doing stupid stuff, and you got to kind of clean things up after me.
Okay. Good to know.
So how was you said you went to Ohio this week?
Oh yeah, just traveling for work. Got that all situated. That's always fun. So, yeah, just a couple meetings here and there, some social gatherings sprinkled in, and yeah, I couldn't get my Xbox to connect to the Wi-Fi for some reasons because I took my
Okay.
Xbox. I was like, out because we'll be done at like 9, 10 o'clock, and I
Yeah.
don't want to just sit around and we'll have early mornings or whatever. So I figured I'd have something to do before
Right.
bed, and yeah, could never, no. So
That's
I know
okay.
it's tough life out here. That's all I gotta
You
say.
could have read a book. You could have read a book, or
I
maybe
could
checked
have,
out some
yeah. I should have
comics.
brought one, honestly. I could have colored. I could have done a lot of stuff.
You could have prepared for the Super Bowl, but whatever you
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Well, that's already inevitable.
It's
We already know what's going to happen with that. I'm so
oh
pessimistic toward
Jesus,
that right now. Yeah.
jeez, wow.
I'm hoping to be proven
Obviously,
wrong, though.
obviously in Costa Rica, it's been a lovely week.
Yeah.
Company trip, pretty
Oh, yeah.
incredible. I wasn't skeptical about Costa Rica. I just was like, I heard a lot of things about it, but it's pretty much true. I mean, it's beautiful. It's very American friendly, of course. I understand there's no military here because they pour the money in education. We kind of protect Costa Rica, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So it's just super sweet. This place we're staying at is dope, and there's like 7 of us in this big house. There's another house that has 7 there, and it's like we have this whole compound basically. Did some fishing, didn't catch a
Nice.
lot, but others did. I caught a jack, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Somebody caught a rooster fish. The first day, a couple guys caught sailfish. Those are the big, kind of look like
Oh,
marlin,
yeah.
but they're probably related. Uh, and then yesterday, ATVs, jumped in a waterfall and in a pool, tidal pool, and then you know, did a little zip lining. So today's an off day, just kind of relaxing, doing, have to catch up a little bit on work. But yeah, it's been great. 85 degrees every day, pretty sweet. Back to Hawaii weather, but actually, it's pretty nice. It's a little nicer. It's got a nice humidity here, not as quite as They're both beautiful places, of course.
Yeah, because it sounds like you're really living tough. That's all.
Yeah.
I feel for you, buddy. I know you're going through some tough times right now.
What I will say is, I did dry January. Drinking 5 days in a row, 7 to 10 drinks a day is catching up to Jimmy Weggs.
Oh
We got
man, 7 to 10
one more
a
day.
day.
Oh,
God,
I
look
mean,
at you. You're an
it's
animal.
a marathon, not a sprint, but we have to
Yeah.
sprint at times. I've been trying to not drink during the day. Today might be an exception because at night when we get together with the drinks and the dinner and everything, it's. I mean, they have private chefs that are cultivating meals for us and all this garbage. It's
Oh,
amazing.
nice.
So it's just like,
Oh,
woo!
it's garbage. Wow.
No, it's great. It's amazing. So. Well, anyway, let's jump into the pod itself. What I don't see any
Oh yeah.
notes, but I'm sure you have some ideas. Who are you taking to the shed this week, Coop? You got
I
any
did. I
ideas?
do. I did write some stuff down in my notes when I was sitting in my meeting
Okay.
yesterday. But the first, I guess I didn't get any names of this group, but I don't know if you remember the group that broke into Joe Burrow's house
Oh
and
no, I didn't
stole
hear
a
about
bunch of
this.
stuff. It was like I think it was about $300,000 worth of jewelry, like custom jewelry.
Ooh,
They were found by the FBI because they decided to post pictures of themselves in the jewelry on social media.
of course
So
they did.
the FBI had found it through social media channels. I think it was Facebook. I could be wrong on that. But
Hmm.
yeah, literally wearing the custom 9 diamond that we're all familiar with, like wearing a specific hat that was stolen from his house, like a certain Bengals hat. I think it was like maybe
Yeah,
a conference championship hat or something.
right.
But yeah, those guys are in the shed. They, like I said, they were found. And just, if you're going to, lesson learned, if you're going to steal stuff, like pawn shop is
You got to
is about the
fence
only
it. You got to
place.
get a
Yeah.
fence. You have to have a fence. You have to give a guy your stuff. He's going to give you cash, and then it's out of your hands.
Yeah, you can't be taking pictures on social media and be like, "Oh man, look at this sweet chain that's not mine."
That's not a good use of TikTok, sir.
Yeah, those guys, they're in the shed. See you later.
Get in there. They're more than the shed. It's more like the penal section of the shed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to do your first shed, so that was my other thing that I had written down. So I wanted to go ahead and segue into the softball.
Okay, yeah, it is a little bit of softball. I didn't have a lot of time this week, but the Dallas Mavericks. Oh, yeah. We're not an NBA podcast. We don't talk a lot about the NBA, but it's hard not to when you're watching college basketball on Saturday night and all of a sudden they make this announcement about Luka getting traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and some picks or something. I don't understand what the hell the Mavericks are doing. I mean, I know they broke up. They obviously sent Brunson to the Knicks, and then they shipped out Porzingis, before that, the year before. Apparently, they don't like Luka. He's probably top 3 player in the league. Some people might say he's the best player in the league. Yeah. So they obviously don't give a shit anymore. Now, I know Mark Cuban is kind of out of that. He has a very small ownership stake. So clearly he's not making any decisions. But my understanding, too, is they didn't even talk to anybody else. They just went straight to the Lakers. What the hell are they doing? There's plenty of other teams that would have given them the farm for Luka. But Mavericks, really Mavericks management. It's not the players. Now, management, get in the shed. You can talk to those guys who need to fence some jewelry.
Yeah, no, it was that. It just makes no sense what occurred, like how much they got back. The only thing I saw too, I saw another thing that there was like a major league situation where the Mavericks ownership is trying to get the team to stink bad enough to where they can move it to Vegas. And there's also another theory that I saw that LeBron's going to go there next year, so it could be Kyrie, LeBron, KD, and Klay Thompson all playing together in Dallas. So that was the other rumor that I saw floating around, which, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe they sign Steph Curry too and just get like the band back.
Let's start all the old guys. Let's see if the old guys can win the title, which we know they can't, because that never happens in the NBA unless you've been like a team that's been together for a while. But, maybe. I know that even maybe you might be right, but I did see KD's reaction. Like they were showing him, everybody was on the bench at games looking at
oh my God,
dumbfounded, right?
Yeah.
So they're in the shed. The other ones I wanted to put this week, we talked about the game last week a little bit. Kentucky fans, we thought that they might boo Cal, but they definitely booed Cal. And obviously, he brought them championships. He made them very good and relevant after kind of a dark period. But then the Arkansas goes in and wins. They beat their ass. So good for Arkansas and Coach Cal. But Kentucky fans, don't boo this man because he was ready for you. And I mean, you have a pretty good season. I do like Mark Pope, but maybe just give him, hey, thanks, Cal. You did great. Thanks for bringing us. And then, then you might not take your medicine like that again.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
And in Club Dub, obviously, I'm kind of softballing a little bit, as you said. I went with the Lakers because I think that they won the trade there. And why is it that the Lakers get the best player every goddamn time? Like, what the fuck? Good for them. They know what they're doing. But them obviously getting Luka. I mean, even if he's not generational like a Magic Johnson or something like that, he certainly is top of the heap. And he's young. It's like 26, right? 25?
25, yeah.
Come on. That's what they do. They get, okay, fine. LeBron's getting older. I did hear LeBron didn't know about the trade. You believe that?
No, nobody did. Yeah. No, because I think he might have nixed it, honestly.
But either way, Lakers, you're in Club Dub. You've already been in there forever. It's one of those franchises that get annoying. And then my other one is more granular. Patrick Surtain, cornerback for the Denver Broncos. He's the first cornerback to win Defensive Player of the Year since 2019. It's usually pass rusher, so nice work. And he won pretty, convincingly.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising. I thought T.J. Watt might have a chance, but he went so quiet the last 3 or 4 games of the season. So
my coworker had a offensive player of the year with Saquon. He's an Eagles guy, and then he had TJ on like a parlay. Would have paid pretty good, so he was disappointed. Surtain did win.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough. But my Club Dub was pretty straightforward too. who was it? It was the Cavaliers won obviously, but Darius Garland hit that half court shot that I thought was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw that against the Pistons. They blew like an 8-point lead in like the last minute of the game. The Cavs did, and then Darius Garland hit a half court shot to win. The Cavs are killing it this year. I don't know if you've paid any attention. Yeah, they're awesome. They actually might be a threat. I know this is not an NBA podcast, but and then Josh Allen. Josh Allen was your NFL MVP named last night. Which is kind of ironic because obviously in the playoffs, Josh, usually came before Lamar. So, and it happens in MVP voting too. So, club dub. He's gonna enjoy it. He would love a Super Bowl trophy, I bet. So. Yeah,
he'd prefer to swap that out. Look, Allen was great. I think it was just his turn, when I look at that. But at the same time, like, a lot of people were saying it was going to be Lamar because his numbers were so good this year. Oh, yeah. It's just, give me a break. You got it done. So,
you got it done.
Nice. Okay, well, let's get in here. Today is going to be mostly Super Bowl. We'll touch a little bit of college basketball later. I'm sorry, the Google Drive is pummeling me right now. If you hear the beeping. So the Super Bowl preview, we went over last week, kind of early leans. I updated the numbers the best I could. I can't access Rivers in Costa Rica apparently, but I can FanDuel. Don't ask me why.
Nice.
So this is when I did update, it was based on FanDuel. Kansas City, they're still the favorite. It's about 1 to 1.5, depending on where you're getting your numbers. And it's minus 120, is the money line now. So that's come down a little bit. And the Eagles are plus 102. From what I can see, for the most part, like everybody's got, not everybody, more money is coming in on the Eagles. I don't know why this line isn't going down more. Maybe they're just waiting for respected money to come through, because maybe the Chiefs will, bounce back. I don't think people will pick the favorite, but I was a little surprised. I thought it would come closer to a pick at some point, but maybe it just won't. And then the total is down to 48.5. It was 49.5 at some point, so now it's down. So I'm sure this doesn't change your position. You're wearing your red sweatshirt on accident.
Miami Heat. Yeah, shout out Jimmy Butler. Get the hell out of here.
So you were leaning Eagles, but you think it's inevitable the Chiefs are going to win?
My heart says Eagles, my head says Chiefs, but I was looking at money splits too. It's 52-48 on the money, so I feel like that's might be the big reason why you're not seeing the movement as much in the spread as you'd like to see. The best money line bet I could find for the Eagles is plus 106, and that's Novik. That's the location I'm getting that one from. I've never heard of them, but plus 2 is the best number I can find on the spread for the Eagles. So that's minus 110. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, the one thing I like is your MVP odds. I feel like if you're really gonna do some of that, I really like Devonta Smith's receiving, because the three games he has against the Chiefs, at least his last 3, he's had over 6 catches, over 90 yards. And I think he scored in 2 of the 3. So he really likes playing against the Chiefs. Obviously, if the Chiefs, probably number one priority is going to be stopping Saquon. So they're probably going to play a little heavier in the box. You're going to get blitzes from Spagnuolo. We know this. So somebody's going to have to win one-on-one. I think that somebody is Devonta Smith. I think you might have mentioned Dallas Goedert on the last pod, but
I love Dallas.
I would. He has led them in receiving in the playoffs so far this season. So not a terrible pick, but I just like Devonta Smith here. I think he's a big-time player. He's got to have a big game.
Okay, so you like him for MVP, or do you just like his props?
I do like his props. I think if you got to lean MVP for the Eagles, I think you got to go Saquon, right? I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's plus 250. Let's go down this. Well, first of all, I did this sort of sequential order. Even though MVP should be last, but coin toss, you can see it anywhere from minus 103 to both sides, minus 104. I don't recommend betting on the coin toss, but you got to say for the props. MVP running through the odds. Mahomes is the favorite, plus 120. Saquon plus 250. Hurts plus 350. Now you get kind of in a murky area. You've got Kelsey plus 1,400, and then Brown is plus 3,500. I do think Smith is a little bit worse than that, like plus 4,000. So that would be a nice long shot. I put in Jalen Carter because he's plus 10,000. Like, he's obviously been awesome in the playoffs. So they don't give it to defensive players often. Like Von Miller's the last guy that did it, but he could dominate. And then
George Karlaftis, maybe.
Karlaftis plus 6,500 for Chris Jones. So Yeah, I think Saquon's probably, if you like the Eagles, but you don't want to bet the money line per se or whatever, you could just do Saquon plus 250. It's a better number, but obviously there's a little bit of
Yeah.
risk there.
No, for sure. I don't know if we touched on this in your outline. Let me double check here. But I also like the over 3 field goals at plus, was it plus 120?
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one
Yeah.
a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of, moving the ball in between the 20s, but, once you get, or in between the 40s, but I think once you get down to that red area, I think it's going to be really tough for these offenses to succeed.
For sure. Well, then these first touchdown props, maybe this is what you're talking about with DeVonta Smith. You've got, obviously, Saquon's the favorite there, plus 420. Hurts is plus 600. Hunt is plus 950. That moved down. Kelsey plus 800. AJ Brown 1100. Worthy's plus 950. He's actually better than AJ Brown, surprisingly. Smith is plus 1400. My guy Goddard plus 1700, and then Mahomes plus 2100. So, would you sprinkle a little money on that for Smith plus 1400?
I got it plus 1,700 here on DraftKings, but he's plus 255 anytime touchdown score. I think I'd probably roll with that. Anytime. If you want to double dip, there's never a bad. I mean, you could double dip, do a little first time and or first touchdown and anytime. But no, I just have a hard time believing that the first touchdown is not going to be scored by Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley. I just have a hard because I feel like they're going to want to come out and establish that. So, I mean, as I'm saying it, I'm probably wrong. Somebody's probably laughing at me right now that already knows the outcome of this game. So in a parallel universe or whatever. But yeah, that's just I see the physicality of this game being like established early. The team that can establish that early is going to probably be the team that wins the game.
Well, you probably can you should check out like 2 touchdowns for Smith though, because if you're going to do anytime, which is great, plus 255, also do 2 touchdowns or more.
Plus 2,200 is the number.
Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome. 22-1. Like last week we saw, I mean, I don't think how many people bet it, but 3 touchdowns for Hurts and Saquon, and Mahomes got 2 touchdowns. Those were all huge numbers. So it's worth a little pizza money, a little cheddar cheese. If you like Smith, for that. Let's talk about passing and rushing props. I know you targeted some specifically. Just want to, for the listening and viewing audience right now, and I don't know, you've probably seen more recent numbers. I put these up early in the week. Mahomes around 252 and a half yards is his total for yardage. His touchdowns are 1.5. That's kind of the number, which seems a little low actually. That's why the over is minus 180 on the 1.5 touchdowns. And then obviously the over is minus 115 for the 252. Hurts number is much lower, 200, around 200, 200.5, and 1.5. So his over touchdown 1.5 is actually plus money at plus 160. And kind of to your point, I think they're going to throw the ball more with them stacking the box. So I don't mind his 1.5 or more touchdowns on plus 160.
Yeah, I like his attempts. You can get 28 plus attempts is minus 125, and if you go over 30 attempts, it's plus 146 for Jalen Hurts. So, even if the game script goes to how we all fear it could go too, they're going to have to throw the ball to kind of stick around in the game in the second half. So, I feel like that's might be a good trend you can lean into.
Nice. Rushing, Saquon's number is like 111.5. So this is the thing. I got it early in the week. It's probably going to be way higher come game day. So if you like the over, hit it early. If you like the under, let it run. His longest rush is 24.5, which, that guy's crushed it every single week. So over is actually right now is only minus 109. Maybe that's going to change. So you think he's going to break off a long one? That's a good bet too.
Just one big one?
Well, a few. Hunt has 43.5 yards, or I've seen 44.5 some places. Hurts is 37.5. I do like the over on Hurts rushing yards this week because I think he's going to have to run more. They're going to probably do a lot of read option to try to confuse the Chiefs. And then we always talk about Mahomes, 28.5. It's actually kind of high, but his longest rush is 12.5. It's minus 125 to the over, so maybe you can ladder that a little bit, but that's usually a good bet too.
Yeah, I think I said it like a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago now. I think this might be a Pacheco game. I think this might be the game to fade Kareem Hunt. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I was looking at his rushing attempts to get more than 6 carries is minus 136, but to get more than 8 carries is plus 211, and he averages around 10 on the season. So I really like that value there, and I would take him to score anytime. I think he was right around. It was a little bit higher than Devonta Smith. I think he was like plus 275. So
Okay.
I think if you're going to pick a ball carrier to lean into, I think I would go Pacheco, just because I don't. Obviously, Kareem Hunt's been the guy for a minute, but he's had an extra week and a half to get healthy. We do know he's coming back from kind of a major injury, and he runs angry. I feel like that might be the only way to beat this Eagles front is to run angry. So
I agree with you. I think that they need Pacheco to win the game because Hunt, as much as I've cashed some tickets on him lately, he's kind of, he's big and slow. So he's not going to run away from Jalen Carter. He's not going to,
right.
Lower his shoulder. He's going to get a tough yard here or there, and he's going to score a touchdown if he's in close, but he's not going to break off like a 20-yard run. So I hope Pacheco's healthy. I heard he's just not. So
yeah, his over-under on rushing and receiving, you can do 40 yards or more, and that's plus 208. So
that's nice. Good number.
Yeah, it literally takes one big run. That's all it would take.
Then receiving, I really like, I said that last week, I really like Saquon receiving. I think that they're going to involve him in the passing game just because of the way that if I were to attack the Eagles, it would just stop the run. Just 8 guys in the box, just, gum it up in there. But I like that circle route that they ran to Mixon, that they ran to Cook last week. Both those guys had big receiving yards. And it's only 12.5. I mean, that number is going to go up. So I have to book that as soon as I land on mainland again on Saturday night. And only 1.5 receptions. Come on. Like, this is, the longest reception, 9.5. That's where he could get his big play too. And I do like his combined yards of 127.5 and up to 159.5 at plus 270. His regular one is minus 113 over. So I'm definitely on the Saquon train for reception and total yards.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I'm looking here. It looks like 15 yards or more for receiving for Saquon is plus 102. So
Nice.
I do like Juju Smith here as a pass catcher. 25 yards or more is plus 164. He's kind of been, I don't want to say the focal point, but he's definitely been relevant in their offense. So that was probably the two values that I like. You can get Dallas Goedert at 60 or more yards at plus 120. Devonta Smith is right there at 60 plus at plus 125. So, just depending on which one. Now, as I'm saying, it's probably going to be AJ Brown that has 200 yards. So, but that's where I like my value.
The Chiefs have good corners, so I think AJ is going to have a tough game, even though he did do good against them 2 years ago. It's a different group. I do think they're going to try to take away AJ Brown and make the other guys beat him. That's why I like Goddard, and I don't mind your Smith pick there. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do think Kelsey's going to have a big game, and he had a bad game last week, and it's not just a bounce back. The weakness of the Eagles' defense is the linebacking core in coverage. So 61.5 is pretty low. 5.5 receptions is his total. I'd probably go over both of those. I think he's going to be highly involved, and we'll see what happens. What about you've been on Noah Gray in the past? You don't like Noah Gray this week?
No, I prefer the wide receivers. I think the linebackers of the Eagles match up well. I think it's the corners that you might be able to pick on as far as, and plus I don't feel like if he's going to throw the middle field, it's going to Travis Kelce. Like, he's not going to trust, Mahomes is not going to trust much of anybody else.
Right. Worthy's ladder, I took advantage of it 2 weeks ago, didn't work. Last week he did it. This week maybe he'll do it. He's 55.5. His ladder up to 74.5 gets you plus 200. I like him kind of combined yards, but they don't offer it at Rivers at least, which kind of sucks because I think he's going to get a couple carries in this game to diversify. Here's some stuff that I pulled. I know you love this kind of stuff. Eagles 2-point conversion, was plus 450. I thought that was pretty high, which is great. They're going to go for 2 at some point and run that tush push. And Kansas City's plus 550. I thought those were both pretty high numbers to try to get in on. Any interest in that one?
Maybe. Not a lot, to be honest. Yeah.
Just conventional kicking the extra point.
Yeah, maybe I could see. I think the only thing you're rooting for there is game script if you're going to start, doing those kind of, those kind of wagers. So I think when the biggest game of the year, I think you got to take the points unless you're absolutely forced into going for 2. Like, nobody wants to make the analytical mistake, right? You'd rather get beat on the field than beat yourself.
So I guess I'll skip that next one. I guess you won't like the octopus, which is the one player scores a touchdown and then gets a 2-point conversion. Hurts did it in the last time they were in the Super Bowl. It's plus 1,200 for the yes. I'd probably do that. Scorigami is kind of a unique thing that they do for the Super Bowl. It's kind of like I don't know what's it's basically where it's like 42-24.
Yeah, it's a score that's never been produced before. Yeah, or like
Yeah. That's what it is. And so it's plus 2,000. And I don't know which ones there are, but I guess you figure that out. Offensive line touchdown plus 2,000 and quarterback reception plus 1,100. You don't really see a lot of those, out of these two teams, but in the Super Bowl, you've seen those plays quite a bit. It's not a bad number.
No, and I feel like it's got to be Mahomes that's catching a pass, right? I don't see Jalen Hurts catching a pass from Saquon.
Yeah, I don't think either. But and then your Gatorade color, dude. I kind of got through. FanDuel actually they actually list these numbers, so it is available on FanDuel.
Okay.
It's not on, for some places it's not. Yellow green is the favorite at minus 201. Your purple Gatorade is next at plus 370, and then it kind of drops off with orange at plus 1,100. Red, pink being one, blue being another, and clear being another are all plus 1,500. So that's not a bad number, plus 370.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'll take any kind of plus number I can get on a winner,
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously you're
I've got an
basing
tip,
that the Chiefs are going to win. Well, the Chiefs like purple. That's the issue,
yeah.
Right?
I got an insider tip. Don't worry.
You do.
I do.
I wonder why yellow green is minus 201. That's probably the Eagles, but they're not the favorite. So. All right. Well, let's go over the best bets. I talked last week. I haven't hedged it yet. I'd already have in pocket, the Eagles plus 625, my ticket, but I got plus 1.5. I didn't get the 2 points for Philadelphia, unfortunately, last week. I should have bought it up. And then I'm going to be pounding
no, you can't do that.
Saquon combined, Goddard yards, and some of these other ones. So your favorite ones, you already said you like Devontae Smith. What about the total? We haven't talked about the total. You think it's going to be an over game, 48.5? Seems a little low now, but
yeah, it does.
These teams have good defenses.
I think I would go over. I think just because the amount of time they've had to prepare. I think you've got Andy Reid, who's a great coach. The only thing that really worries me is, like we said last time, is the Chiefs have only scored more than 30 points once this year, and it was literally last week. So,
yes.
And this is by far probably the best defense they've played in the playoffs, I would even say. Yes. So it feels risky, but why say no when it feels so good to say yes, So I would take the over, and life's way too short to bet the under. So.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, if that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of your mentality, right?
See, you get it.
You still feel you just think the Chiefs' inevitability. You're not going to get on the side.
Yeah.
You like the two. You like the two with the Eagles, but you like the money line.
I would go Chiefs money line, but I would say it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game. Yeah, they got to build the drama. That way we can show Taylor Swift more on the camera when it's like when the tension's so high.
Yeah, just so everybody knows too, there's like a gazillion different props we didn't go over. There's the classic national anthem time, which is like usually about 90 seconds, whatever. There's kind of some crazy stuff. I love doing the commercial bets. It's usually just with friends, like next commercial, animal or baby or car or beer or stuff like that. We like to do that when we're in person.
There's a bet on a flea flicker too.
Like it.
You can bet on the first touchdown of a jersey number to be over 15.5 or under 15.5 for jersey numbers. You can bet on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's like, and the story with the props, right? The history of the prop. The very first prop ever written was Will the Refrigerator Perry score in the Bears Super Bowl in '86. And it was Jimmy Vaccaro, used to be, at the Mirage at the time. And it was like, the guy's like, what? You want to do that? Some guy could text, I want to see if the fridge will score. What will you give me? And so that was the first prop, and now it's like out of control, right? It's just insane. I mean, there's just gazillion.
Oh, by the way, other fun fact: the Super Bowl is actually Saquon Barkley's birthday, so they do have a touchdown special for him to score 5 touchdowns at plus 150,000. So, yeah, you can check it out and be rich. You never know.
What was the other thing? Oh, I didn't tell you. So my company, obviously, as we've said before, they're huge Eagles fans. Everybody, we have to sing the fight song at every dinner. A bunch of them are on the private jet, coming down here, and they're going to go home on Saturday, land at 3:30 in the afternoon or something, go change clothes, come back an hour and a half later, and then go to New Orleans. There's like 8 of them going to the game in New Orleans.
Oh,
So they're
nice.
basically going Costa Rica, just a quick stop at Philly, back to New Orleans for the big game.
I wonder how much the tickets were. Let's see. Go ahead.
Plenty.
Continue on.
Plenty.
And I'll check
Because
that.
Edmund also mentioned, our buddy, we know Edmund. He was waiting for them to come down. Was there a couple grand? I don't know what they were, like $3,000 or something.
The cheapest
So
one
he
I can
was,
see right now is $2,630.
yeah, that's right, 2,500. He was trying to wait for it to come down. It ain't coming down, baby. You want to go, go.
Yeah, all right.
Fly Eagles fly. So, well, it should be good. Should be a fun game. Let's go over some just quick college basketball. Just keep it as a touch point. We're going to start doing it, especially after recapping the Super Bowl next week. I guess got 5 games to highlight in the different conferences. St. John's, who's been playing great under Rick Pitino, great defensive team, is going to UConn. UConn has been playing pretty good in the Big East, even though they started slow. I've got the game at 3.5 point favorites for UConn at home, 141.5 point total. This is tonight at 7 p.m. Central. Any interest here? I like St. John's because I don't believe in UConn. I saw them play live. I don't think they're that great. So I like the Johnnies here, but what do you think?
Oh man, I actually their defense isn't that far apart. I don't know if you know, St. John's is given up obviously 65 points here, but UConn's right there only giving up 68, and they score about 1.5 more per game. So I would take the value with the points. I think I'm with you. I think I would take the 3.5. Playing on the road is really hard in college just because you're usually dealing with 19, 20-year-old kids. So I might talk myself into actually getting behind UConn just because you like St. John's so much. So I think this is a very even match game. I think I think the more I sit here and actually look at it, I think you got to go with the home team, just for that factor of the home team. So
as much as I was shitting on UConn, they went to Marquette and won on the road last week and played great. I watched the game; they were just shooting the lights out. So I hear what you're saying.
St. John's is on a 9-game win streak, so I can see that coming to an end. The 2-time defending national champs, even though they aren't the team they used to be, but yeah, they're built for big moments.
Right. Then we got Florida at Auburn. They're the 6th-ranked team is Florida. Auburn's the number 1 team, only lost once this year. They're a robust 9.5 point favorite at home, 155.5 point total. That's Saturday, the 8th at 3 p.m. Central. It's hard to go against Auburn, but Florida has been balling too. So 9 points seems like a lot. I haven't been able to watch Auburn yet. I will probably try to catch this game before I ship off here. What do you think? Do you think Florida can run with them, or just Auburn just keeps destroying everybody?
I still have the memory of Florida just shitting themselves playing at Tennessee. They only scored 44 points. And that was back on February 1st. That was not even just about a week ago now. So, these teams are on paper, they are pretty even. Auburn has also won 14 in a row, which is, again, it's a really big number. So I could definitely see why you'd want to lean Florida. I think the value is probably with the points just because of how bad Florida has looked against, Tennessee. But to your point, they've beaten Vanderbilt, Georgia, South Carolina, and Texas outside of, losing to Tennessee in the last week or so. So, the value is probably with Florida. It's probably more of a 5-point game, I would say, or 5.5. So to get 9, I think you should take it.
Yeah. The next 3 games I had to kind of estimate because not all the lines are out this far out. That's what we have to do. Texas Tech in the Big 12 is going to Arizona. Arizona finally got in the top 25. They're 20th ranked now. Texas Tech is 13th. I'm estimating that Arizona will be a short 3-point favorite at home with about 140 point total. That might be light, but Texas Tech's a good defensive team. This is Saturday at 9 o'clock Central. It's hard for me to go with Arizona in general. I got to see them play because traditionally they've got really good talent, but they're soft. And Texas Tech is one of those teams that is never soft. So I'd probably go with the road team here, plus the points.
Yeah, they're both on multiple game win streaks. Arizona's won 5 in a row. Texas Tech has won 7 in a row, to your point. The defensive points against is probably the biggest gap. Texas Tech is right at 65. Arizona's given up around 69, but Arizona's got the best player between the 2 teams in Caleb Love, for sure. So if he shows up and kind of decides he wants to take the game over, I feel like that could be the difference in this game. And so that's I think for that reason is why I would lean Arizona, just because I feel like they have a little bit more to prove too. They do have 6 losses still compared to Texas Tech's only 4. So they do have I think a little bit still of a chip on their shoulder with how bad of a start they had to their season.
Nice. On Tuesday night, I'm looking at a game, Purdue at Michigan. Purdue's a seventh-ranked team, Michigan 24th with, Dusty May, the, like I said, former Florida Atlantic coach. I'm just guessing here, but I think Michigan's a very short favorite. If not, it could be more like a pick game because Purdue's pretty good. But 2-point favorite, I'm listing Michigan at home, 138-point total. The 6 o'clock Centrals. Purdue, I haven't seen. They bounce back, even though they don't have Zach Edey. They're a pretty good basketball team. Michigan just is a fun team to watch, though. They're a really fun team, and they got a good big that they brought from Florida Atlantic. So I might go with the home team on this one, even though Purdue's been. I think they only got one loss in the conference.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Michigan averages almost 5 blocks per game, which is, I think, that will struggle. That'll I guess give Purdue something to handle. I think that's going to be a big difference in the game as those tip shots and stuff like that. Michigan also averages 4 points more per game. And I think a lot has to do with that with the rebounding. So they get right around 39 rebounds per game, which is on average about 8 more than Purdue. So I think between the block shots and the defensive rebounding and offensive rebounding, I think Michigan's going to have, 10 to 12 more attempts than Purdue. And I think that will lead to a big difference in the score. I think that's going to be the difference in the game.
There you go. Same side. That's dangerous.
Right.
Game, we'll go back to the SEC on Tuesday night. This is also at 6 o'clock Central. Tennessee's going to Kentucky. Tennessee's 4th ranked. Kentucky's 14. I do think Tennessee's going to be favored in this game. Metrically, they're actually a lot better than Kentucky, but Kentucky at home, losing to the Razorbacks, they probably have to bounce back a little bit. I'm showing as a 5-point favorite for Tennessee, and then a 142-point total. It's Kentucky. They're better than they were last year, but are they going to be good enough against this Tennessee team that is just, they're bruisers. These guys can really ball. I love watching them play. But again, as you said, it's really hard to win on the road in any conference, let alone the SEC. So probably some value to Kentucky here with the points.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Both these teams are really struggling their last 5. I mean, Tennessee's 2-3. They lost to Kentucky and Auburn. They lost to Kentucky back on January 28th by 5. And that was at home. That's another big thing. And that's literally Kentucky's only win in their last 5 was against that same Tennessee team. So they lost Mississippi, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and Alabama in that time frame. And they've given up 74 points or more in all those losses. So 74, 102, 89, and 98. So I think that actually, to your point, I think that favors more of Kentucky just because Tennessee doesn't score at that clip. To your point, they're more of a bruiser team. So I think the value is there with Kentucky, and hopefully they're going to get Tennessee to play more of an up and down game with them to keep up. And that definitely favors the Wildcats for sure. It's a bad matchup for the Vols.
It's a bad matchup, like you said. I think that's exactly right. So good. Well, we'll touch a little bit more on that next week. More college basketball, talk a little more Ken Palm stuff. We're going to get that in. So what are you this weekend? So what do you got going? You're back in Chicago.
Oh yeah, Linnea's birthday is on Sunday, so for the Super Bowl. So yeah, they're doing that. I have graduation this afternoon, so
congratulations!
For the media school. So I got to go downtown and do all that mumbo jumbo, and then
that's great.
Taking Linnea to dinner for like her birthday and just for graduation things tonight. So I don't think she's gonna listen to this, but we're going to Gino and Giorgetti's.
Oh, so, nice place. Yeah.
Never been, but my sister had talked about it before. So, and then Saturday, I think we're doing some sort of paint, like splatter paint thing. I don't know. I told her it was her birthday. She could, whatever she wants to plan, I'll take care of everything, and we'll go from there. So
we'll paint and sip.
Yeah, right. So it's her birthday month, is what I was told. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Valentine's Day, huh? So you're
that too. I've already got those bases covered, though. Thank God, I've already got the birthday presents. I've already got the Valentine's Day presents. I've got.
Good for you.
Yeah. So I had to stay ahead because she doesn't let me forget. So, but yeah, it'll be a busy weekend. So I think she's So like I said, we got Super Bowl Sunday at Irv's. That should be a good time. Yep. I'm making queso dip. So.
Ooh, queso dip.
Get excited.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, man. Obviously, Gino Giorgetti's a good place. It's a nice Italian, like classic Italian Chicago steakhouse, so you can get anything there. So
it has like a mobster vibe, yeah.
A little bit.
Okay.
You definitely got to order like a nice cocktail there, and are you guys gonna dress up? And you don't have to. You don't have to, but I'm just I
mean, am I wear like a nice, I don't know, a nice sweater, nice button up?
Down.
Yeah. Oh, is
Yeah,
it button down or button up? I don't know.
button up. Well, you're
Do
going to
you
keep
button
it buttoned
down
up.
or do you button up?
I button down.
Oh, really? I'm a button up
You,
guy.
I guess that's true. I button down. I button up. That's true. But I
Yeah.
think is it called a button up or button down? Maybe
I
it's
don't
a
know.
button
This is,
down.
I've already know this is going to be our TikTok that you make though. This is great. This
Yeah,
is like,
of course
this is
it
the
is.
great content right here. Yeah.
This
But
is
it's definitely a button. It's definitely a button up. It's not a button down. If
You button
they
up.
tell you it's a button down, I think they're wrong. I'm sorry.
That's very true. That's a good point. I have to ask my mom. She's the expert. But
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think anybody buttons from top to bottom. You always screw up. You got to start at the bottom like a child.
Right. Yeah. I completely agree. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you brought that up, though. I wanted to make sure because we really need to be aligned on these things.
Yeah.
That's what makes our podcast so great.
Exactly. That's what people listen to. The 40th minute. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously, today we're going to do some stuff. I don't know exactly what yet, but goof around, check out the town, hopefully do a couple souvenirs, and then
Nice.
fly back tomorrow night. I get back at like 7:30 at night, so not much going on. I'm missing.
Okay.
I think Lee was putting something together, and then I still am unclear on Super Bowl. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we don't have to talk about this on the air, but try to make everybody happy, which never works. So we'll figure it out. I'll either go to Four Shadows or maybe I'll pop at the party. I don't know yet. So we'll see. TBD. Got to figure it out today. I want to let people know.
Are they missing you at Four Shadows?
Well, I have a table at Four Shadows, but now it's like they wouldn't give me more than 4 slots, and now holding. Now it's like 2 little people, and I don't know what to do. We'll see what happens.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
See. Oh yeah.
Because before when I had
they
like,
turned into a Bills bar, just all this madness.
They're not a Bills bar on Sunday because but to their credit, I mean they want to know, and in the past I got like 10 people, so it's like okay, I got a whole section, it's fine.
Yeah.
They couldn't give me that this year, and that's fine. It's understandable. But yeah, looking forward to it. Get back to Chicago, kind of get back in the routine. I start traveling a lot for work when I get back as well. So February,
there it is.
It may be Linnea birthday month, but it's Jimmy Wegs travel month.
I'll let her know. I'll definitely let her know.
Yeah. Well, follow us on Side Action Pod on X, Side Action Podcast on Instagram. Don't forget about TikTok, and follow me at Wegspool on X and on Instagram.
Yeah, don't you dare forget. Don't even think about forgetting it. No. And I'm Coop. You can check me on Instagram at Dalton Cooper, on X at Mr. Grumpy Gills. Again, we are the Side Action Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all the social medias. Give us a like, follow, subscribe wherever you get your podcast. We always do appreciate the listen and the follow and the.
We do.
We need to name the audience. Are they like the Actionites, or are they like the I don't know. We'll stew on that. I think that'd be
the side pieces. No, that's not good.
Nah, I feel like that's a little degrading. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I want to go that far. I'm glad. Just remember you said it, so all the backlash is going to you on that one.
By the way, we didn't talk about this? Did you notice the change in avatar on the Wegspool? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, you got a new profile pic. Yeah, we got a new loser, if you will.
Yeah, did you appreciate his gesture?
Yeah, well, I'm sure Facebook doesn't, but
I know. I thought I was going to get shut down, but I didn't have to blur it so far.
You should tell him to pick a better bracket,
Yeah. Thank you, sir. But
shout out to Ted. It's a good sport.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, love you guys.